Moving on to USA versus Turkey. Whew. Super. We lost 3-2. Give me your 3-word recap for this game, and then take me through your thoughts on what happened here.
Okay. So my 3 words are job well done. Those are my 3 words for the game. Job well done. What are your 3 words?
My 3 words are job's not finished.
Okay.
Job's not finished. No, those aren't my 3 words.
Your 3 words were also job well done.
No. My 3 words for this game are it's completely unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. And I'm not talking about Poch's tactics. I'm not talking about even the loss. I'm talking about the last play where we gave up the goal. And I have it screen recorded. We can dive into it in a second. But giving up that third goal in like literally the dying seconds of that game is completely unacceptable. Champions don't do that. Semifinalists don't do that. Quarterfinalists don't do that. You have to close out that game. Like, it's not, and again, I'm not going to bang on Pulisic for getting nutmegged and all that stuff. If we look at the play, there's just like 3 or 4 players who are just they just don't care. To them, it's like game's over. This game doesn't really matter. Whatever, and that's completely unacceptable. So, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Why do you say job well done? Why is it a job well done for the US?
I totally appreciate your frustration with that play. I do. You got to close out games, 100%. A lot of mistakes on the play. Job well done because we won the group. And then we played a meaningless game and we got guys minutes. We got to learn more about our roster and who can and should not play in the rest of the tournament. We got Pulisic to get a little run in, to be healthy, to stay sharp. We accomplished all the things that we needed to do last night. For me, job well done. And like, I understand that some people are frustrated that we lost the game, and some people want to talk about momentum this, momentum that. If you had told me that we were going to play this roster and we were going to lose 5-0, I would say, awesome, let's do it. Let's move on to Bosnia. 100%. And I think Pochettino would do the same thing. If you said, Poch, you start these 11 guys, you're going to lose. He'd say, like, sounds good. Looks like we'll be losing then. This was truly meaningless in every sense of the word. And we got to see like what the rest of the roster can do. We got an answer for, look, I have been advocating for Tim Weah to play more minutes. And I've been like, dude, where's Weah at? Let's play him. Let's play him because he was great in the last World Cup. And I will no longer be doing that because I actually got to watch Tim Weah play and I don't recognize him at all. And so I think we learned a lot of things. I think we learned that like Gio Reyna is better in the latter half of a game. And he can come on, he's a great sub and he comes on and he changes things up. And I just think that we learned that maybe Mark McKenzie is like best on the bench and just being like a locker room guy. And I also like Matt Freese. I think Matt Freese is and should be the starting keeper now. Like, I think we got to learn a lot.
We got some answers on our roster.
And we know like who should be the first guy off the bench. And
who should be the first guy off the bench? Based on yesterday's game, who should be the first guy off the bench to you?
Ricardo Pepi should be the first guy off the bench for me. And he has been. He has been. And I think the second guy that like I have been questioning a lot, as have you, is Sebastian Berhalter had a goal and an assist.
Yeah.
He had a goal and an assist. So like, and look, I still think he is an imperfect player, but I will say like out of the guys we saw yesterday, I mean, Weston McKennie was our best player yesterday, but he's a starter. Look, we got a lot of answers. Nobody picked up. I actually think Austin Trusty would have been kind of a bright spot from last night, and then he picked up a knock. But look, we are going to this Bosnia game, and we're going to be able to start our true 11 that are well rested, and I think that is a huge positive. And I really don't understand any other way of thinking about it. So I'm curious to hear what you say.
So other than who are the overperformers for you on that field out of that starting 11? I mean, let's put McKenzie aside.
There's not a single like overperformer for me that like.
Yeah.
Like I did not watch that game and was like impressed by I wasn't like, oh, I didn't know that they could do that. If anything, it
Well,
was guys that went the other way. Like
yeah.
I was
It
not
answered.
like I didn't watch that game and was super jazzed about the 11 I saw. It's just that like a game did not matter.
Mm-hmm. No, the game didn't matter, and I think we need to credit both Turkey and the U.S. subs, the guys who actually started, for making it an awesome game. And look, we knew that Turkey was going to come out bloodthirsty because they've had an awful World Cup, and this was their chance to walk away from the World Cup with just a shred of dignity. Like,
Yeah.
Betts and I talked about it last week. We both expected that it was going to be tight. Betts, if we go back and look at what Betts said, who's been Mr. Enthusiastic, we're winning every game, we're going to blow them out. He was like, it's going to be like 2-1 because he could sense that this Turkey team was going to come for blood. Like, this was their one chance to go home and keep their head held high. And you saw it. They came out firing. And to our credit, our guys who got thrown in there were a couple shaky moments, but they came out with intensity. They set the tone early with a goal. They obviously, there were a couple more goals we probably should have had. The, Mark McKenzie goal that was offside. There were multiple changes in the second half that we should have scored. I think Aronson should have had one. So credit to our guys for going out there, playing a good Turkey team with intensity. And you got to give them credit. And I agree with you. I'm giving Poch a ton of credit for the way he played this game, where Poch still made it feel like it was important for the fans, important for all the celebrities that they kept showing for who knows what reason.
So annoying, dude.
So annoying. But Poch made it feel like it mattered. He threw the starters in at the end of the game. He had the guys fired up. Like it did feel like it mattered. And I love what you said about us getting answers on guys, because we're not privy to what happens on the training ground. And so when we see the starting 11, we're wondering, well, why isn't Weah coming off the bench sooner? Why is Berhalter getting these minutes? Why is, Turner just out of the keeper conversation? And to your point, we got all those answers last night. Like, Matt Freese should be the starter. Look, I've been super critical of Berhalter. In fact, I was taking notes through the first half hour of the game. I was taking notes on all these bad Berhalter plays. I was like, he just got nutmegged here. He had a turnover there. And then the guy scores a banger from outside the box. What else can you want? An assist and a goal. And so seeing that, he's a guy that I think has cemented himself as, I should be the first guy off the bench. And we got to give credit where credit's due. We were super critical of him. I don't think he's looked fantastic, but Poch, once again, is right about the guys that he's giving minutes to. So credit to Poch.
Poch knows all.
Poch is, don't be fooled by the pretty face. That man knows ball. That man knows ball. Okay, but putting some of the positives aside, Super, I am just so thoroughly disappointed by us not. I think we should have won the game. I think when Berhalter scored that goal in the 49th minute, the feeling I had was like, oh my gosh, we're about to win this game 3-2. What an epic momentum boost where we come from behind, we steal this game 3-2. Captain America comes off the bench, gives us a spark, and that's what a way to fire off into the knockout stages. And for it to actually unwind and unravel the other way was super disappointing. And it was so avoidable because we should have scored our chances in the second half. We absolutely should have. We could have had one or two more goals. But the letdown at the end of the game defensively is unacceptable. And Mr. Producer, please pull up the third goal because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And Poch, I know that this game doesn't matter, Foss, but this is just, everything about this play is terrible. So play the clip. So you have Guler gets a throw in. And here's the problem. Pause it. Are you able to pause? Yeah. So right now, this guy comes running to the ball. Number 26, who's right behind the player, should be running with that player. He should be running with the player, and you can't see it. It's cut off. Zendejas should be running with that player. And actually, Trusty is behind him saying, go pick him up. Go pick him up. Keep playing the clip, Mr. Producer. So he's saying, go pick him up, go pick him up. He's standing in no man's land. What is he doing? What is he doing? He's doing nothing right now. He should be 5 yards closer this way. Someone should be picking up the thrower. And instead what happens is they throw the ball in. Credit to Guler. He does, he makes Pulisic. I hate that happened. Berhalter gets stuck in, great. But still, look, so not only is 26 in no man's land, he didn't even close the ball down on number 18. So to me, it was us being asleep. It was us being asleep, and it was just lazy defending.
It's a bad goal to concede. It's a really bad goal to concede, and it's a bad look for Zendejas, I think.
Terrible look for Zendejas. He's in no man's land, super. But Trusty's like, go get that guy. Not only does he not get the guy on the throw-in, when number 18 throws the ball and floats to the top of the box, Zendejas is just standing there. Step to that guy. Like you needed that. That's your man. And so
it's a bummer, dude. Yeah, like it was there for the taking, and it is a bummer, but I don't think it's anything more than that. I think like it's already forgotten in our locker room. It's already forgotten, and they're on to Bosnia.
In our locker,
they're not giving it another thought. Like they will go they'll go over the film, sure, but like
I do think super. I will say that
it doesn't matter, dude.
The silver lining is that there was going to be a setback for this team. There was going to be a bad moment, and I'm actually glad. I'm glad that it happened here rather than in a round of 32 games. So the silver lining in all of this is this should light a fire in these guys' bellies. Like we're going to come out. We're not just going to beat Bosnia. We're not just going to advance. We're going to pummel Bosnia.